Okay, so here is my third video for my app, Wingman. Wingman is a voice-to-code generator designed to be a sort of coding assistant that you call upon with a system-wide hotkey and speak to. It's in a kind of MVP state right now. It actually works really well, and I have like 1.5 million ideas for the app, but I'd like to see if this really is a viable niche use case, and want to know if there's enough users. I kind of like it. I've been using it quite a bit, more than I thought I would, and so I probably keep iterating on it just for myself. But for the big ideas I have, I probably won't pursue them anymore until I know that there's an actual need or want for it. So in addition to the code base being open source, I also have published the app on the Microsoft Store. And it's not listed publicly yet, but if you have the URL, you can go there and download and deploy it. And it's by far the best way to deploy it. The MSIX packages work really, really well. So let's dive into it. We'll load it up. I deployed it so I don't have to load it from Visual Studio. A couple of things here to notice that are different now if you're one of the dozen or so people that have tried it out since I had a very, very low-key release on Twitter. So number one, the pre-prompt is much longer, it's much more specific, and this is the real art here, is to get this right. So Greg Fodor on Twitter, he actually he was really creative with it, and so he made it so, hey, if I say a certain word, you change your kind of personality or you change your expertise, right? If I say Ruby, now you're my Ruby assistant. If I say Shell, now you're my Shell assistant. So really cool prompt that he has, and I think he made it publicly available on Twitter as well. But if not, I'm sure we can release it somewhere, maybe on the README or something. So a couple of other things, since most people will be new to this app, there are two primary hotkeys that you configure here. So the first hotkey is called main hotkey, and whatever the response from OpenAI is will just be spit out onto standard in of whatever app you have in focus, right? So that's number one. So I can show you just a really stupid quick example of that, right? So we can say like, create a hello world program in C++. Of course, my prompt says be a C# expert, so I'm sure it's going to be upset at me. Oh, no, it didn't. Excellent. Okay, so here's an example of C++, right? And it just went out there. Now I can do the same thing. Show me an example of hello world in C++. I can do the same thing with the modal prompt, and it'll do the same thing, but instead of pushing it out to the window I have in focus, it's going to push it out to its own window here. There's a small bug. The title of this is wrong, but you get the idea. And you can actually iterate within here as well, right? So you can say something like, please convert the following code to C#. I highlighted it and put it on the clipboard because I have those two options clicked here. So you see it just converts it right away. Works really, really well. So I have these two options clicked, right? So this means that whatever I say, whatever my prompt is, it'll be appended with whatever's on my clipboard. And these are really, really useful. I have these clicked 99% of the time when I'm using the app. You can actually affect the output of the prompt itself as well. So not just the input, right? But you can affect the output of the prompt with trim white spaces and trim new lines. So you can, if you click both of these, you're just going to get a blob of code on one line, basically, right? And so I don't really use these, but you can paste it in and have lint or have your preprocessor formatter just format it automatically. I thought this would be a good idea. It just isn't, so I'll probably take it out at some point unless somebody wants that functionality. So you can use this in a myriad of ways, right? We can go into the code base here, and we can just look through code that particularly egregious in some way, right? You can look at the prompt cleaners. Maybe there's a better way of doing this. So you can even have it kind of look at this and say, hey, is there a better way, right? So we can take we can put these on here and say, hey, can you show me a better way of accomplishing either of these functions, or are they both fairly optimized? So it's kind of like doing a code review, right? In a way. And I did this in a modal, so it wouldn't spit out something in my code. Now you have a little status window up here for when this is minimized. So that's another new feature. And let's see here. What did it come out with? So trim white spaces. It wants me to use regex instead. Yeah, okay, cool. So it showed me a better way. Pretty cool. That worked pretty good. I didn't expect it to want to do that. Of course, there's regex out here, and it didn't even know. Awesome. So you can use it like that, but you can also use it like as a systems admin, right? Like you can just spin up PowerShell, and I don't know, maybe you want to. Let's think about this. Well, let's get rid of this for now because I have it with code, right? But you can do something like write a single line of PowerShell that will find every file with the word Wingman in it. And there it is. Pretty cool. So, you can do things like that. Now, it won't work on command prompt, right? Because command prompt doesn't take clipboard pastes without holding Control-Shift-V. So there's no support for that. But in PowerShell, it's no problem. So you can generate all kinds of things. You can generate an entire script here. But it works excellent. It works very, very, very well. And you can add, it was recursive already, but you can iterate on it, right? So I can just, that's on my clipboard, right? Yeah. So you can say something like, I'd like, oh, I messed up. God only knows what I was going to say. I should probably have a way to cancel it. Yeah, I got you. So you want to do main plus keyboard, clipboard, right? And can I have a version of this that checks all of the C drive? And let's see what it outputs here. And there you have it. Kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Oh, it starts at C. Yeah, C:\\. So anyway, that's it. That's my demo. I think you get the point. I mean, I can sit here iterating on code all day. I don't know if that's valuable. I don't think anybody wants to see that. So you see how it works. So you just have to hold the key down, you talk into it, and you get an output. Hold the key down, talk to it, get an output. Thank you for watching.